Hey, it's Nikki. I was just on the Zach Sang show. We just talked about life and Asianness and representation and music and ramen and colors and all the things. So stay tuned.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
We have Nikki here hanging out in the studio.
Hello. Amazing.
Hello, beautiful human. Thank you for being here. Dan's here too.
Yep.
Let's not forget him.
Hello.
Hello.
You're talking about Indonesia. That is where you grew up.
That is indeed where I grew up, yes.
What do you learn about music in Indonesia? Everything you know today?
Yeah. I mean, I had a pretty unique upbringing back home. So my mom sang at church, and I just kind of grew up in this super musical Christian community. Everybody played music, and that's kind of how I just got exposed to music. So it's always been a familiar concept to me. Yeah, but then there was also American television that I was exposed to, and Disney Channel and all that. So
you like Hannah Montana?
Oh yeah, dude. Honestly, that final episode really killed me. But
was there an artist for you that kind of showed you that you could do this too?
No. No, if you're asking if there was an Asian person, a household Asian name that I grew up looking up to, there really wasn't, in all honesty. So yeah, but I mean, I looked up to the pop. My mom was a huge R&B fan, so I listened to all the crazy divas like Whitney and Mariah and all those guys.
But is that motivation for you to get there and to represent a community and a culture that clearly in your life you didn't have that?
Absolutely. When I started out, obviously everybody starts out doing whatever they're passionate about because they're passionate about it. I started music because I love music. But as this journey kind of has gone on, I've really sort of adopted a social responsibility that comes along with it. Yeah, dude, I just I want little girls out there to see me and be like, oh, she looks like me, and feel represented, because that hasn't really been, a thing in the past.
You said at the Head in the Clouds Festival, you addressed the crowd, you said, I just want to say, as an Asian female, I do not take this day and this stage for granted. Mm-hmm. My hope is that above everything else today, that you feel heard, you feel understood, but most of all, that you feel represented.
Yep.
Is that, when you choose to carry that weight or carry that torch?
Yeah.
How... is that an easy decision for you to make?
I mean, yeah, it kind of just I don't know if it was a decision. I mean, yes, obviously I've put it upon myself to represent, Asians and whatnot. But yeah, it just kind of was a gradual, just I see it more as an opportunity really than anything. I just feel I've gradually come to this it was more of a revelation than anything, than a decision. I was oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. These are the people that I have to represent. And it was just, of course, but yeah, on the flip side, there's always two sides to a coin. And it's obviously, in all honesty, I'm still human, and it's a lot of pressure to just make sure that I say the right things, or I represent things properly. Because, dude, Asia in general is so freaking, diverse. I forgot that I can swear. So, anyway, I don't know. I was fuck. But, it's, so diverse. And obviously, I represent a small, sub-region of this whole ass continent. But, yeah, I'm just, I just feel really grateful that I even have this platform to represent people,
Why do you think it's been so hard for Asian artists to break into America?
Dude, honestly, we could get into that. I have this question all the time, and honestly, I don't have the answer. But if we're gonna get sociological and anthropological and whatever,
I think that's the only way.
I think for whatever reason, it might be because, at least in the U.S. But here's the thing. I'm not American. And I need to clarify that, because a lot of people still think that I'm like Asian American. I'm not. I'm Asian. Like I'm was not born in the States. I moved here in 2017 to go to college.
Hella recently.
So yeah, like I can't speak for Asian Americans, but like I think that maybe it has something to do with the fact that the Asian minority has just kind of like it's relatively new compared to other minority. So I think there's still this like sociological otherness, like when it comes to Asia. Like you would never ask like another minority like, where are you really from? You know what I'm saying? If they say like, if you ask them like, where are you from? Oh, Texas. Cool. You know, like that's it. But for some reason, like there's still that inkling and the inclination to like ask an Asian like, but like where are you like really from? Like where are your parents from? You know, it's like very interesting. And I don't have the answers, but it's just like there's still that like otherness. I don't know. Maybe geographically, like isn't Asia like the farthest away from the US? I don't know. There's just like all these theories that I have.
But like the more I do end up thinking about it, like some of the biggest artists that we've seen that are Asian, they've come directly from Asia. They haven't been Asian American.
Right. Yeah. It's really interesting, honestly. I don't know. I'm still, that's part of like my journey and my mission too, as like doing this. I just feel like I'm still I'm navigating everything as I go. And I think like the most important thing with a movement like this is just to be like as transparent and as authentic as you can possibly be. Like right now, I'm not sitting here acting like I can like rep all the Asians like I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm limited to my experiences and how I grew up and my perspective. But dude, I just feel like this is a really just like a great time. Like I just feel like things are moving in a very positive direction.
What sparks that movement? Is there any one thing? Is there, like, even for you to move here in 2017?
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. Maybe I think like with the internet and social media, I think like people are just starting to get heard. Like people are just starting to speak up because now there's a platform to do that. And the world is shrinking. It's just like, everyone is low key, like culture is starting to just get like homogenized, you know, like to a certain degree. Not in a bad way. I just feel like now there's more awareness cross-culturally. And so like people just know things.
We have access to more information than we've ever had before.
Facts.
We have access to communities that never existed before.
Absolutely.
So not only do artists and individuals who want to create art and be public feel heard, their fans have the ability to feel heard too and speak loudly.
Absolutely.
It's like the internet is one of the biggest blessings we'll ever know as
biggest curses.
100%. 100%. But it's
a double-edged sword.
But isn't that everything?
It's all of life.
Something that is so incredible and yields so much power.
Right.
Can't exist without having dark elements to it.
Absolutely. And that is social media and the internet. And like, but hey, like now it's brought light to us. And just like, dude, the fact that like Charles Melton, like he's, you know, like he's Asian, he's part Asian, and he's like playing the jock in Riverdale. Like that's tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that hasn't been a thing. I don't know if you've seen Good Boys. Have you seen Good Boys?
Yes, I have. Oh my God.
Soren, like that little kid.
So cool.
He's so cool. And they made him Asian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and his sister's beautiful.
No, exactly. And it's just kind of like, this is tight. This is moving in a very solid direction.
Hey, beautiful human, real quick. I want to talk about bags. I've been a backpack guy forever, and then I found Daniel's leather briefcase. This thing is quality because one bag at a time, they're turning boys like me into men. And seriously, my backpack started to get embarrassing. There's like holes in it, and when I wear it, I do look like a kid. But I loved it. But now I have a new love. Daniel's leather briefcase. They're really perfect. They look sharp, they're quality, and the best part, you can afford it. This is the bag that like you can get at any stage in your life. But when you land that big gig, you're going to look freaking awesome. By cutting out the middleman, selling directly to you, Daniels is able to offer high-quality luxury leather briefcases at an incredibly reasonable price, just $195. I know, $195, it sounds expensive, but compared to a luxury brand briefcase, They start at like $500. They're freaking ridiculous. The leather is really high quality. My dog Lou tried to chew on it the other day. His teeth did not work. Plus, I love all of the facets and the clamps. One of my big fears with bags is that stuff is going to fall out. But when I use my briefcase, I don't have that fear because the magnets and the zippers, the hooks, quality hooks, I promise you. Oh, by the way, they also offer free shipping, and I'll give you $25 off if you want to try them out. DanielsBriefcaseNYC.com if you want to take a look at some of their styles. Use the promo code Zach at checkout. You're going to get $25 off one of their leather briefcases, plus free shipping. DanielsNYC.com, promo code Zach, $25 off. A high-quality handcrafted item. A beautiful leather briefcase. DanielsNYC.com. Okay, back to our convo. And, okay, so what tells you, I feel like you've had this yearning for America from a very early age, and I think it's very much reflected in your music. From La Cienega to Anaheim, I mean, you've written entire songs dedicated to this f***ing place.
Yeah.
Please tell me what you see here that I am blind to as somebody who's been coming back and forth and lived here for the last 5 years.
Dude, honestly, like, it's not really, it's, okay, starting out, it really wasn't that deep. Like, here's the thing. My upbringing in Indonesia was very interesting. And it was very unorthodox. Like, okay, so first of all, Indonesia is not an English-speaking country. Everybody speaks Bahasa Indonesia. And so, like, the fact that I even had access to, like, an education where, like, I was exposed to, you know, Americanness and, like, English, like, that's not
Normal?
common. That's not normal.
So why'd you have it? And, I mean, a deeper question as to why others don't, but why did you have access?
Well, I was fortunate, like, honestly, like, I was just really fortunate enough that my parents just were able to afford that. Yeah. Like, because private schools back home are just like this whole thing. And this whole conversation would take 3 hours just to even talk about that. But, like, yeah, I spoke both languages growing up. And my parents in particular just really were super into the arts, and they loved, like, movies. We, like, watched a movie every night, you know what I'm saying? Cool. Like, growing up. And my mom loved Disney, and she exposed me to all of that. So, like, I just kind of developed this, like, awareness for American culture. And so it just, like, I don't know. I honestly didn't really think twice about it. I was just like, it made sense. Also because, like, America has just been the global superpower for, like, forever.
Everybody looks to it.
Yeah, and everybody writes songs in English, and it just, you know, it's just kind of like, it's the most pervasive, like, language, you know, throughout the world. So that's kind of just, it wasn't that deep, honestly. I wrote a song called Anaheim because it rhymed with time. And I was like, all right, sick. Like, stop time. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are always like, oh, and I'm just like, no, it just rhymed. Sometimes that's all songwriting is, really. Like, yeah, obviously there's a lot of, like, artistic expression and catharsis and all these things, but sometimes it's just like, what rhymes with what? And that was one of those cases. So,
but you still brought forth a story.
Sure, yeah.
And it was still woven and written with authenticity.
Totally.
And truth.
Yeah. Also, Anaheim houses Disneyland. And
Yes.
that was kind of the whole premise, was, like, I just wanted to talk about, like, oh, how cute would it be to, like, go on a date in, like, Disneyland, you know?
Have you gone yet?
To Disneyland? Oh, yeah.
On a date?
No.
Oh, sorry.
No. I just feel like now it's kind of like I'd be a walking cliche if I did that. Like, I don't know.
You don't want to live the lyrics after they've already been released?
No.
You just live them before?
Yeah, I don't want to, like, relive. You know, I like, you know what? I'm, like, 20, and clearly I know everything about the world because I'm 20. But, like, but, like, I wrote that song, like, when I was, like, 18? Dear God, I don't want to be 18 again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just don't want to relive that. So
cooler dates now.
Yeah, cooler dates. Like, Color Me Mine.
Oh, love that place.
It's so tight.
It's so fun.
It's so zen.
It really is.
Like,
just
even if you just go
calming
with your friends, like, you just, like, sit there and paint. It's tight. Have you been?
I used to go to this place called Mud Pie. I was terrible at it. And the fact that I was
What's
bad.
Mud Pie?
It was this place in New Jersey, same exact concept, but I was bad at it, so it stressed me out. So
Got you.
it wasn't zen for me because unlike you, I have poor hand-eye coordination. I have no ability to like hold my finger and my thumb straight on a paintbrush.
Right. It's a lot of stress.
Yeah, I'm shaky.
Got you.
I can't color within the lines. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. That's okay.
So.
Most of us can't. We're all shaky on the inside.
Thank you so much.
Isn't that all of humanity?
Yeah.
Just shaky insides.
Until we hopefully.
Everyone's unstable, dog.
You're
know?
You're right. We have a lot of music.
Anyway,
No,
go ahead.
keep going.
No.
I want to talk about unstable people.
No. I was literally just gonna say straight facts, and then but that was just like an insert.
Two of my favorite things to talk about is Disney and unstable people.
Amazing.
And I could really talk about education inequality for hours. So
sure.
We're barely into this. We have 3 of my favorite topics on the table.
Amazing.
So hold on, strap on in. No, we'll shift to some music here because your voice is sick. Like
Thank you.
Not in an unhealthy way, but in a very great way.
Not in a virusy way, just like
no. Well, I mean, it infects me with goodness. It's infectious in the right way.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think so.
Hey, I wouldn't tell you if I didn't believe it because I with your music.
Thanks.
The record slap. Want to take this downtown?
Yeah.
You recommend listening to this EP top to bottom in order.
Yep.
What story are you telling?
You really know your stuff, dog.
Oh.
That's tight.
I got eyes, I got ears.
There you go.
All around.
That's awesome. Preparation. You know what I'm saying?
What story are you telling?
Say that again?
Top to bottom, what story are you telling with this EP?
All right, so here's the thing, right? This whole ass EP was a happy accident. Most of my songs have just been total happy accidents. And like this is the prime example of that. I wrote all 4 songs like separately, or I conceived like all of these songs just kind of came to me during a certain period of time, but just like I wasn't trying to make an EP, you know?
I get it.
There wasn't that intention. I was just kind of writing to write. And honestly, I was just like coming out of like a really dark time in my life and just like a lot of personal stuff. And I kind of actually like it triggered something internally to where I ended up wanting to write things that were very light and like happy as a book. Because it's really interesting. Like I feel like a lot of artists, whenever they're like going through like a dark time, a lot of that gets channeled into like really dark, like
darkness.
Yeah. And like, or, you know, just darker sounding music, but it actually did the opposite for me. And I just ended up wanting to write something that was lighter and just like mindless, honestly. And that was kind of like, it started out as my escape. And so that's how I kind of wrote, or how the EP kind of came together. I was just like writing a lot of cute, structured like pop bangers with like really witty songwriting, you know, or lyrics. And I wrote each song separately. And then I was left with like 4 songs, and I was like, wait, actually, this could be a project. It's really funny because I literally gave my management a headache, like, because I wrote low key, and then I was like, cool, and they were like, amazing song, let's put it out as a single. Sick. Literally like 2 weeks later, I came out with like Yours, and they were like, okay, cool, we'll do like a waterfall thing, like a B-side single type situation.
Look at you knowing the DSP lingo.
But and then Move, then Odds, and they were just kind of like, okay, it's an EP, like let's just put it, you know. But that's kind of how it came together, and I'm articulating this very scatterbrainy. I'm really sorry, but like, yeah, it's just kind of it was that was the process, really.
Do you realize that there's a connection between these records after it's done?
Yes, sorry. That was my whole last trail. Like I was trying to get to that. I completely forgot. But yes, all that to say, when I put them together, like in my to the track list, I was like, wait, this actually makes sense as a single line narrative, like if you listen to it top to bottom. And that was a total accident. Like I didn't even think about it. But it like makes sense. It could be all about the same person from top to bottom.
Low-key Yours,
Move, and Odds. Yes.
Who are they about? Are they about one person?
Mm-mm.
So
I wish I could say that, but my life is just not that interesting.
Okay, so what do you channel to write a record? Like low key, for instance, where are you at when you sit down to craft that?
So low key was interesting because I released my first EP, Zephyr, in 2018.
Yes.
And I started low key for that project. And then I wrote it and I produced it like just very like half-assed, honestly. And I was like, it's all right. But it's like, nah, and I just kind of got shelved for a minute. And then I went home to Indonesia. A lot of shit happened. And then I was finally back in LA top of this year in January. And that's when I started like writing again. And my friend, so I had this online friend. Her name's Maisie Peters. She's amazing.
Okay.
She's this British pop star.
Yeah, I know that name.
Maisie Peters. Like, I'm putting you on. She's amazing if you don't know her already.
Give it a goog, Dan.
Yeah, so Maisie and I started out as like YouTube girlfriends. Like, we both had a YouTube channel.
Together?
No. Like, we were just like, I had a YouTube channel and she had a YouTube channel and we like would post originals. Like, we were those like, like foot of the bed guitar girls. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we just wrote songs and like put them up. And then one day she slid into my DMs in like 2015 or something like that. And that kind of started an online friendship. And literally every other week for 4 years, we would Skype and just like talk. And it was like really cute. And we just like cultivated this online friendship. Never met in real life. And then in February, she came to LA for the first time.
Whoa.
And that's when we met in real life for the first time. And she rolled up to the studio. And I was like, for some reason, I totally remembered about Low Key. And I was like, wait, I have this song that I shelved in 2018. Do you want to like help me like refurbish it? And she was like, hell yeah. So then we literally just like sat and wrote it, like rewrote it in 2 hours and it was done. And that's what you hear today.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are the biggest changes in that record between the first version and what you do with Maisie?
It just glowed the up, dog. Like, the first version, if you listen to it, just sounds like production-wise, because I produced it and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And my taste has evolved since then. But it just sounded very, like, busy, and the verses just didn't flow melodically very well together, I thought. And so, yeah, we just kind of, like, cleaned it up, made it sparser, and just, like, wittier and better.
So is this the only record you do with Maisie?
Yeah. That was like our first little baby together.
Look at that.
I know, right?
From best friends on the internet.
Dude, it's crazy.
Skype friends.
Yeah.
Creative collaborators.
Yeah, we would literally like play guitar and like sing each other like songs that we wrote that week. And then we would like joke about like, oh my God, how cool would it be like if someday you and I both like made it? And then like now she's signed to Atlantic and she's touring. It's like
That's
crazy.
How I know the name. By the way, isn't that why the internet is awesome?
Dude, that is like the epitome of why.
There was nobody that you saw on internet there's nobody that you've seen on the internet or saw on the internet previous that you were like, if this person can make it using this thing, I can too. Nobody proved to you that it was possible before you dove in and starting putting covers up?
No, oh, for sure. No, I had a lot of internet like inspirations for sure. Like
Cover
most
people?
of them cover people, yeah. Like I could name some. I don't know if you know who Dodie is. Have you heard of the name Dodie?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Dodie.
I know Dodie. Yes.
Yes, Dodie is tight, but I like watched her like literally while she had the grungy hair and like the ukulele in like 2014. Like I've been a fan since then, and then I ended up meeting her too. So it's just, dude, the internet is awesome. Honestly, it's just like brings people together.
Okay, you can play the guitar, the ukulele. You can play keys.
Yeah.
You tickle the ivories.
Yes.
Do you produce? Do you collaborate with production? Because I feel like your production is pretty spot on, at least with the EP.
Thank you.
Because your voice is so pure and it kind of stands on its own. I feel like it does sound amazing with nothing. But like that's the trick with production, right? When you have great vocals, production can either it up
Oh, totally.
royally
Absolutely.
or enhance it beautifully.
For sure.
It's a balance.
Facts.
Do you work with the same person? Do you work with different people every record?
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason that I feel like Sean is my manager, also the CEO of 88rising.
Cool.
I feel like the reason he even signed me or was drawn to my music in the first place was because, like, I feel like the pattern with Sean signed artists are just like self-sufficiency. Is that the word, sufficiency or sufficiency?
No, self-sufficient. You said it better than me, but you're saying the right
self-sufficiency.
word.
Anyway,
Do it on your own. That's what you're trying to say.
yeah, I don't English sometimes, but yeah.
Me either.
So yeah, but yeah, I was just very like I feel like I am still the epitome of just like a bedroom kid. I just worked off of my laptop and like headphones forever. And the reason that I even got into production was because my YouTube channel, I used to record my voice and like my guitar on GarageBand. Like I would use GarageBand just for that, like for that purpose.
And then sync it with the video?
Yeah. And then one day I literally accidentally like clicked a button or something and it revealed the sound library like in GarageBand. And I was like, wait. And there was like bass lines and drum sounds and like all these things. I was like, whoa, I can do this. So then I started layering my voice and my guitar with all those samples. And that's how I got into production. It was like another happy accident, truly. And then after that, I kind of moved on to Logic, and then that's what I use now. But I started out like my career just kind of producing everything. Like most of Zephyr, I produced totally independently. And yeah, and then Want to Take This Downtown, I produced most of them, and then I just had like different producers add some stuff.
So, okay. YouTube obviously is the place that you start, but most of your covers not available right now. We cannot find them. A bedroom kid has scrubbed the internet clean of her videos from the bedroom.
Yes. Yes.
Healthy for you to do? Something that you needed to do to move forward?
Totally. Because I used to go by my birth name, and I used to make really like acoustic, like folky, indie sounding music, which I still am very, very much drawn to.
And there's hints of that in your stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks. I take that as a compliment. But yeah, I was really drawn to that sort of music because before I started producing, I just felt like my creative playground was in lyricism. Like, that's where it lied for me. So I just felt like folky, indie, like acoustic songs, like usually the lyricism's just very like poetic and very metaphorical and, you know, with lots of vivid imagery. And I really loved that because I was also just like an English literature nerd. Like I loved that, like that was my favorite subject in school. And we like read a lot of, you know, just your classics like Shakespeare and, you know, Oscar Wilde and all these people. And that's kind of how I started writing songs, was just in that kind of format. So yeah, that's why I started writing, really. It was just because it was fun for me.
So do you not want your covers up there so people can solely focus on the originals and those stories?
Yes. And okay. I deleted the covers because I just felt like I was just trying to rebrand myself, honestly. And
I get it.
Yeah. And because I literally jumped from like that kind of music to like like, you know, and like See You Never. And like it's like super R&B, just like trapped out. And I was just kind of like, this, I don't feel like it makes sense cohesively.
There was no transition there.
No, I didn't like, yeah, I didn't sugarcoat my approach.
No,
I just kind of, I was like, peace out, you know, I was just like, bye. Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't the most elegant transition, but you know, that's where it got me here. So.
But now you're kind of out of that, right?
Yeah, like YouTube?
No, but now like even with want to take this downtown.
Yeah.
I mean I get R&B from it in certain elements.
Sure.
But I don't hear, you know, all those derogatory words that you just
Totally.
spewed.
Right. So two things. When I wrote See You Never was my first single with 88. I wasn't even signed. They just kind of distributed it for me. I wrote that very just like from a super angry, vindictive, like 18-year-old postgraduate place, you know, about like my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, like, F you. So I just like wrote, it started out as a letter that I was going to send to him.
Really?
Yeah. And then it just kind of ended up being that song. So I don't cuss nearly as much because thankfully I don't run into situations like that anymore. But yeah. And then Want to Take This Downtown is more pop, I would say.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I just get very like inspired depending on like the time in my life, coupled with like who I'm listening to during that era. And that era was very much like pop for me. I was listening to a lot of like underground like pop people. And I was just really drawn to just kind of like that structured A-B rhyme scheme and just very like clever dichotomous lyricism. Like I love that.
You really break this down like a science.
Oh, for sure. That's like half of the fun for me, in like songwriting.
Is it important that all your songs start from some place of reality? Or can it come from like an imaginary story?
Oh, it's always both. It's never like one thing. I just, like Low Key, for example, was totally imaginary. Like nothing that wasn't based on like one specific night that happened or anything like that. It was just kind of like, let's write a cute, anthem that just kind of like, yeah, it's like the anthem of just youth, really.
Does the guy know that song, the one that started with a letter, is about him?
I think so.
You never told him? You should have sent that in the mail with a stamp on it.
Honestly, I really blocked out a lot of that era, like from my head. But I think he knows. I'm pretty sure I told him at some point. But yeah, honestly.
Interesting.
Who's to say?
He should be flattered.
No, I mean, he should be. Yeah, it's a bop.
Yeah, great record, but also it's like a piece of history written about him.
No, exactly. It's just kind of like I've immortalized you in a way.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Yeah, even though I called you but
whatever.
It's like, at least you're an immortalized now.
Hey, he's down to last forever. Hey, beautiful human, real quick. If you're considering going back to school, you should ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits that you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University could be the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers 200 highly ranked degree programs, 100% online. You're going to earn the same degree as you would on campus from wherever you are on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. If you want more information, text my name, Zach, to 35517. That is Zach to 35517. So you can learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates and why 87% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. That's a big number. 87% of the graduates, they get a job in 90 days. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, text Zach to 35517. That is ZACH to 35517. Knowledge is power. Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
My first song was in English, and oh God, it was horrible.
What was it about?
Okay, so that song was truly just like when that that encapsulated the time where I discovered that rhyming was a thing. And I was like, oh, you can do this with words. That's tight. And so I just like, the song makes absolutely no cohesive sense. Like it's, yeah. If I say, I don't even remember it, but if I were to, I'm pretty sure you'd just be like, what?
What was it called?
Oh, God. Oh, it was called Somewhere in the Sky.
Interesting.
Yeah. I can remember it melodically, but I cannot remember, like, it must have been like, in the middle of the day. And then just like, I rhymed day with like play and say and all these things. I was like, oh, this is tight. And that's when I started writing songs.
Were you already doing covers at this point?
No, I was 9.
Oh, wow.
I wrote my first song when I was 9 in the 4th grade. Yeah, that was very shortly after my mom got me my first guitar. And I wrote I'm pretty sure I wrote that song the same day. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at that. The day something real was created.
The start of
Your whole life changes from that moment on. Think about that.
facts.
That's
That
wild.
was like a pivotal moment. It's like, all right, this is what I'm doing now.
Do you remember who taught you about YouTube?
No. I think like a lot of my friends were just like on YouTube, and then I just kind of like learned how to use it, really. Yeah, I remember when YouTube used to have a rating system. You remember that?
stars.
The stars.
Oh yeah, whoa, that's old.
Yeah, that was my entry into YouTube, was like when the star system was a thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That had
That's
to have been
old. Like 2009 or something.
Yeah, even a little bit earlier, probably 2008.
Yeah.
Wow. Taylor Swift, do you like her?
Yes,
You opened for her 2014.
I did indeed.
Was she nice?
She was very nice. She was super chill. Like, I didn't really get to talk to her that much, but she was really cool. Like, she like greeted me backstage and was just super casual and nonchalant about it. And I was like, almost like hyperventilated and died, but it's like fine. She just kind of like, it's really cute. Like, we didn't even get like a green room. We literally, they just like sectioned off like a corner of the hallway with like drapes and was like, here's your green room. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was 15. So I was like, this is fucking sick.
They could have given you a box. Like, whatever.
Exactly, But no, it was really cute. And I was just like I was sitting there with like my band and my mom, just like about to go on, like, kind of freaking out. And then just like a hand elegantly pushes the drapes back.
She pushed her own drapes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Nobody did it for her. She just did it herself.
That says so much about her.
Right? So she just goes like this and she's like, hi, I'm Taylor.
I'm going to vomit.
And I literally just like looked at her. I like did it was a double take. Like, I could not believe my eyes. I was just like, oh my God, And then I just kind of like fainted, but it was fine.
Wow.
Yeah, but it like she was, that was cool that she like even greeted me, because I didn't even expect that to happen.
I'm surprised that she pushed her own drape. Like, what? I would have totally
She used her own hand.
Yeah, like I would have totally assumed she had a drape guy.
A
Like,
drape guy?
Yeah. Or at least a door person, like a portal person.
No.
Handles all portals of any sort for Taylor Swift.
She was very, very kind and very humble.
What are you thinking over there, Dan? I know you're stewing.
Oh yeah, of course, the whole time. So how did you join 88rising?
Okay, so See You Never, we talked about that.
Yes.
So Brian and I became friends because Rich Brian is also Indonesian. So we met in Jakarta. Funnily enough, he found out about me through my YouTube channel. So internet, the internet, you dig? But anyway, so like he found me and then he commented apparently, but I like never saw the comment. So like he DMs me and he was like, hey, you're really talented. And then that started a conversation. And then he was like, you should come to the studio sometime and like hang out. So then I went to the studio. That's the first time I ever met him. And I like played him some songs. And then that just kind of started this like music friendship. So basically whenever he like would make a demo, he would send it to me and I would, vice versa. And we just like shared music that way. And then one day I wrote See You Never. And literally it was just like 2 stems in like my Logic project. It was just like the chords and the shittiest drum beat you could ever imagine. Like so bad. And I sent that to him with all the words and he was like, yo, I hear this in my head like a certain way. Can you please just like send me the stems? And I just like want to do something over it. I was like, yeah, of course. Like I was stoked. Didn't think anything of it. He sent it back. I was like, this is fucking amazing. I love this. Great. And that was it. Like I was moving on with my life. I was about to graduate, and then unbeknownst to me, he sends it to Sean.
Your manager.
Yes. Well, his manager at the time.
Yeah.
Just to show, just to show him. And Sean ended up really liking the song. And then he was like, okay, get me on a call with her. So then all 3 of us Skyped. And then he was like, yeah, we want to put this song on our channel. And I was like, sick. Like, this is fucking tight, because 88 was super underground then. Yeah. But, like, it was, like, big enough in Indonesia because, like, people...
Yeah, if you knew, you knew.
Yeah. And anyway, so it got published. that music video was done with literally no budget. I'm telling you, no budget, $0. Like, it was super DIY. My friends and I just made it in Jakarta. And yeah, like, most of those shots were totally like by chance.
As a little girl who didn't grow, like, as a little girl who grew up not seeing representation in media, what does it feel like when you get that invitation to join a group like 88 Rising? I mean,
dude, it was so surreal. I feel like to this day I'm still kind of processing everything. Like, yeah, it just didn't really, it's really interesting because I don't think that I ever realized how underrepresented like Asians were in like mainstream media until I joined forces with 88, and I was like exposed to just like the lack of representation.
And at the same time, some incredible talent that
absolutely
they're going to be the ones who represent.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just been the absolute it's just been my absolute like honor to be on this, and like I say that wholeheartedly. Everyone on 88 started out so small, and like it really just like feels like a family. And this setup is so unorthodox because it's a label and a management and like a media company all in one. So like people genuinely like care about one another, and like I genuinely have friendships with my label mates. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's only like 8 of us on the roster, and it's just like we went on tour together, and I could genuinely call them my friends. And yeah, like Sean and just like all of everybody that works for him and on 88, everyone just really cares about everybody's personal artistic visions, but also greater than that, like we all recognize that there's a mission to accomplish, like a social mission.
Yeah, you're ushering in change.
Absolutely, and we're just trying to be a part of that catalyst as much as we can.
Why do you think 88 Rising's been able to be so successful?
Honestly, like, I just don't think that there's been an Asian, like a company dedicated specifically like for Asian talents like in America. Like I think this has been the first, just like, and I could be wrong. Here's the thing is like,
I don't think so.
I don't want to like say, because I honestly am not really familiar with like the American like industry's like history, but I think that this is like the first collective and just label that's like done that successfully. And yeah, I don't honestly, I don't really have an answer. Just kind of like, it was a big blessing, truly. Yeah.
Now, Head in the Clouds 2.
Yeah.
You said you guys are all friends. So who comes up with the idea originally to do the first album?
Oh, that was Sean's idea. Like, okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Sean is he's like my brunkle. You know what I'm saying?
Your brother uncle?
Yeah. Like, that's what he's like my brunkle. And I don't know if he'd get offended by by uncle. So I'm just gonna say brother. He's like a brother to me. But yeah, like we're all homies, and so we just kind of like worked collectively. Like we always kind of like collaborate on ideas and visions and whatnot. But he had the original kind of like Head in the Clouds vision, and then he was just like, "What do you guys think?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's fire. It's like Wu-Tang Clan." You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, when like the High School Musical soundtrack, and like all the kids would get excited because like Gabriella's on a song with Sharpay,
yes.
But then like Sharpay's also on a song with Troy, and it's like this whole thing.
Also, do you remember those like Disney Channel volume, like where the Disney Channel stars sang the Disney songs?
Facts. Exactly. Like
the greatest albums of all time. In my
the
opinion.
Greatest. Like everyone was so stoked, and like
yes.
that was kind of the goal, was to do that. And yeah, it was just kind of like, it was a really cool process. It felt like summer camp with all the boys. Yeah.
Like, what do you learn from that? Like working with so many different creatives all at once, and
yeah,
and there's a lot of visions that need to be in line.
For sure.
Give and take. Facts.
And it's really cool. I want to also add, like, it's it adds a different dynamic too that I'm female.
You want to say weird being the only girl?
It it's I'm so desensitized to that at this point. Like, unfortunately, like that it's just a male dominated industry right now. And like that's just what it is. And I don't say that passively, like I'm not gonna do anything about it. Like I've just come to like accept that is the reality. And so like yeah, I like just the fact that I am female and like my presence is like that I have a presence, I just feel like that is already enough to like say something, I guess. Because like, dude, I'm just trying to break stereotypes, especially regarding Asian females. Like, I'm just tired. Like, we're just all sick of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not all submissive and just like boring. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to say, what's the biggest stereotype you want to break?
For me, it's definitely just like the docile, demure, like submissive, will do whatever, you know, like cooks for you. Like, yeah, like that. That's the narrative that we've been told forever. And I just feel like that's the narrative that's been like fed to us that we kind of like subconsciously kind of like internalize it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, you become it because that's what you're around.
Exactly.
And that's what you're being told and fed.
Exactly. And I just think that, yeah, I just kind of wanted to not, like, I just wanted to separate myself from that. And also, another thing is I just want, like, Asian kids, like, not just females, but, like, Asian kids in general to, like, see us and what we're doing and, like, see that you, like, the arts are an option for you. Because, like, that hasn't really been culturally, like, recognized or even talked about, you know?
Well, and that's why I asked, like, who told you that you could do this? Who gave you hope?
Nobody.
Who made it like real?
Honestly, I just kind of I went out on a limb and I just made the decision to do this myself. Dude, I was in college. Like, I moved to the U.S. in 2017 to pursue a tertiary education. Like, I was going to get a degree and all that, you know, hoopla and whatever. Is that a word?
Hoopla, yeah.
Hoopla? Yeah. Anyway, look at me and all my big words.
Your American terms.
Exactly. But you know, super tangential, but
whatever.
Another word that reminds me of that word is it chutzpah?
Yeah, chutzpah. You got chutzpah, kid.
How do you why is it spelled with a C though?
It's like verklempt and agita.
I don't know what that is.
Like,
are you Jewish?
Giving me stress. Nah, I wish.
He talks like a Jewish grandmom.
Dude, you know how many people think I'm a member of the tribe? It's the greatest compliment I've ever received. Okay, more people tell me Lashana Tova than actually wish me Happy New Year on January 1st. So,
I love that. Chutzpah.
Chutzpah, yeah.
Hoopla. All these things. I love these words.
Yeah, it's Yiddish.
Oh, got you.
You're a Yenta.
There you go.
You blend right in.
But anyway, what were we talking about this? Before this?
I don't know. It's all a bunch of hoopla. I don't know.
Man, I'm so sorry.
Would you remember?
Well, you were talking.
Was it Asian?
I forget how you got there.
Yeah, I forgot too.
Oh yeah, you were in college.
Yes.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school in Nashville.
Also be in Nashville, which is one of the writing capitals of the world.
Exactly. So it's like I really saw no downsides to it, like in the beginning, and then I just like lived there, and everything closed at 9, and it was kind of like what? Like, dude, it was crazy. Like, it really is a 9-to-5 city.
What do you learn about music living in Nashville and going to like college?
Honestly, when I was in Nashville, it's really interesting. Like, when I was in college, it got to a point where, so it started in November of 2017. That was my first semester. And I went to LA, and this was like before I got like fully signed with 88, but I was involved with them. And they were just kind of like, oh, you're in LA, cool, we'll just like put you to work. And originally I was going to go to for a cute little Friendsgiving with my friends to LA. And that did not end up happening. I went to the studio. I wrote songs. I went shot a music video for a song that was going to come out. All these things in the span of a week. And then at the end of that week, Sean was like, all right, we're going to sign you. And so I was like, oh my God, like this is happening. Because that's the thing. I don't really like, I'm not one to like plan ahead. Like, you know what I'm saying? My capacity for like planning ahead expires like at like 1 year. It just like stops there. You know, like I don't think. So I was just like, I never really thought that anything would really come to fruition. I thought that I would just like put out like singles and, you know, like I didn't really think about it. And so when that happened, it just like hit me like this wave of reality. It's like, bro, you need to grow the up and like figure out what you want to do. Like you have to just like figure it out. And I was just like very hard on myself and I'm working on it, but I was just kind of like figure it out. So I made a phone call to my dad who lives in Indonesia and paid for my education and was just kind of like, he was like not having it. Like
I can imagine.
Yeah. I was like, so Dad, you know that like YouTube channel that like I started, it just kind of like snowballed into this whole thing and I want to do music. You know, it's just kind of like, I'm going to drop out now. But he was like, could not even begin to like wrap his head. Because low key, I did everything like without telling my parents.
So they didn't know about YouTube or anything like that? Or
they did, but they always saw it as like a hobby.
And then you went to LA without telling them?
Oh no, they knew that I went to LA. And like I didn't lie. Like I went to LA to like have a friendsgiving with my friends. Like I didn't.
You just
like,
happened to.
It just happened to like I just happened to get put to work, you know? So it's like, yeah, but I didn't really like think about like I never thought that I would have to like have this big conversation with my parents until like later or something. But it just kind of like really put me in just this place where I just like have to decide.
You have to address it. So
yeah.
How do you convince your dad that leaving school is the right thing?
Dude, it was like, it took a long time. So that was the first phone call. And that was a very tearful conversation because he was just like not understanding it. And he was like, I don't want to talk about this over the phone. Come home like for Christmas and we'll talk about it like in person. And so then we had a lunch and he was like, I don't really understand it yet, but like, I'm going to keep an open mind and I'm going to let you prove it to me. And I was like, sick. That's all I need. So then I came back to the States and I was like half in college, half in LA.
Got it.
More in LA. And like, I ended up like not going to class. And that, yeah, basically like it was just this whole mess. But anyway, all that to say, I ended up calling my dad like that year, like April of 20, last year. I was kind of like, Dad, I'm going to drop out. Like, I really can't do this anymore. And he was just like, yeah, I saw it coming. Like, I felt it. And he was like, you know what? Like, go do it. Because, like, you're not going to be, I don't want you to be stuck in something where, like, you find absolutely, like, no happiness or no joy or passion.
Even the FOMO of what could be would totally ruin the school experience.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, no, so I was very blessed that my dad eventually came around. But yeah, it was a process and it really took a lot of like courage and just kind of like a lot of risk taking. And that's the thing, that's kind of like what I want to articulate too. It's like, we're all about like, yes, achieve your dreams. Like you can do this too. But it's also like, listen, you will have to make compromises. You will have to work hard. Sacrifices will be made. Like it's not an easy joy. It's not all glitz and glam. You know what I'm saying? And so, but like if you're willing to do that and if you're passionate about it, then fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't even think twice. Like I was like, okay, I'm going to drop out. And that's the thing. I don't want this to be like stay in school, kids. Okay. Like if you're supposed to be in school, then anyway.
I dropped out.
No, but you got it. What you're saying is true, right? You can feel like you're great at something, you need to do something, but it's not just going to happen. Sacrifices need to be made.
For sure.
You get what you give in many aspects of life. And I think a passion that you want to turn into a career is one of those things.
Yeah.
You can't have everything.
Exactly. And that applies to like all other like professions too. It's not just like arts. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just have to work your ass off.
Anything that takes focus and your time and your energy and and really I think what it comes down to is like maybe being able to take your passion and turning it into a career.
Totally.
Because it's those types of moments. They're rare for a reason.
True.
Because it's hard.
It is hard.
And really the hardest part is making those sacrifices and being brave enough to turn your back on what everybody around you does. Like when everybody goes right and you're taught to go right and you're brainwashed throughout your life to go right and then you choose to go left.
Yeah.
It's in those moments that like can either like crumble or it can reward you.
Yeah. And then
you don't know
things like this happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you proved it to your dad yet?
Oh yeah, he's like low key like my Indonesian business manager now. Like he's just like on email threads with my real managers. Just like, hey, how's it going? You know, it's really cute.
Checking in.
Yeah.
You know, managing your massive portfolios and investments.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this person hit me up today. And it's just like, oh, Dad. You know? No, but he's fully like come around. And I've just been very blessed. Like my family's super supportive. They came to Head in the Clouds and that was crazy.
What did that mean to you?
Oh, that meant everything. The like biggest amount, like crazy amounts of pressure. I was just like, oh my God, you know, but at the same time, no, it meant everything. Like they really flew out from Indo to just like see me in action. Like it was tight.
It's a long flight just to see you.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, me, their daughter. You just like put it in a way that's like, oh, that's like such a big sacrifice. But it's like, you know, it is, but also like I am your flesh and blood, so.
You created me.
Yeah.
Now, in Indigo, that's the first song off Head in the Clouds too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what does Indigo have to do with the song? Because Indigo is the color, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I want, whenever I write songs, I always want to keep it open to interpretation. So I even hesitate to like explain it, but I will for this purposes of this interview. I'll do it.
I appreciate that.
You know, I'll be a team player. But yeah, like obviously it can mean whatever you want it to mean. But indigo to me in this song means like the night sky. Like it's just a metaphor for the night sky. So when I say how far out does the indigo go, I talk about the sky.
How far out does the sky go?
Yeah, but that whole line is another metaphor for just kind of like, are we going to let ourselves be confined by the rules, or are we just going to like challenge all the borderlines and like say f*** them and like do whatever we want? That's kind of like the metaphor.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How far can you push something?
Exactly. So it's like, how far out does the indigo go? Because the line before that sets it up. It's like, tonight, let's test all the borderlines. Like, how far out does the indigo go? But honestly, I'm super deeping it out right now. But when I wrote that, that was just me literally spitballing like syllables, and it just made sense.
So that's really how these things start a lot of times.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, honestly, sometimes it doesn't start out super deep. And then obviously, like, my goal as a songwriter is to make sure that there is like some value to what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, or not some, like actually a lot of value to what I say. But yeah, but usually it starts out with just like random, just off the top of my head, like phrases like that. That was one of those cases. I was just kind of like, they played the beat and then I was like, does the indigo go? And that's how it started.
The opening line in that song is so good.
Thank you.
You know I'm tight, right?
Yeah.
So where'd that one come from? Did that just kind of pop into the head?
Yeah, honestly, like I was just, so that's, for that song specifically, I wrote the chorus first and then I wrote the verse. So that was just the first thing that came to my mind. I may have been inspired by something, but I can't remember. But yeah, I've always wanted to say something baller like that in a song, you know? Dude, it's funny because like Indigo is such a boss ass anthem, and it's like, it's like character development. Cause like in the beginning, like, cause in Indigo I say, let's go downtown and get real high, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I just joke about it cause I went from want to take this downtown to let's take this downtown. It's like, let's fucking go. You know, it's just like, it's really funny. But
do you change to match this?
Say that again?
Are you a more badass between
Here's the thing.
Indigo and the last EP? Or is this like this character that you build that you kind of live through?
Yeah, I mean, like, I would like to think that I am a boss ass bitch in certain ways, but I just, you know, there are days where I just, well, I don't know, like, I'm very PG-13 most of the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know,
So some days you ask to go downtown and other days you demand it?
Yeah, depends on how I'm feeling, but this one I was just kind of like, maybe if I just, like, manifest this and live vicariously through, like, this boss ass bitch version of me. Maybe it'll like internalize and just like there'll be like an intrinsic switch that like turns on. It's like, oh yeah, you are that. But yeah, that's why you listen to Lizzo. Yeah. Lizzo is that for you, you know? But yeah.
She's 100% that
100% that bitch.
What is your type?
He's asking for a friend.
I'm just asking.
Asking for a friend?
Just a question.
No, himself.
I don't have a type. Truly. Bad is the only thing. Anyway. No, I really don't. It's all about like connection and chemistry and all that cliches. Like cliche shit. But yeah, that's really what it is.
Do you, for creative purposes, want love or not want love?
We all want love, Zach.
Yeah, but like creatively, people, I feel like sometimes artists want love and then they want heartbreak. And I feel like sometimes people want heartbreak more than they want actual love.
Interesting. No, I don't stand by that. That's a little self-destructive to me. I'm trying to stray away from that because I've been that. And it's just like, but I will say heartbreak does, you know, kind of spearhead a lot of like baller ass tracks and songwriting. But no, I like love.
So you want love?
I do want love. We all do.
I wish that for you.
Thank you.
Is this whole color thing just a coincidence with you guys? Like Brian has yellow, you had indigo, Joji has pink.
Yeah, that was a total. I've seen that in comments, and I'm just like, man, people just find hella connections.
They
but yeah,
sure do.
That was truly, yeah, just an accident.
If it's also the first song off the collective album, why are you the only person on it?
Yeah, so honestly, that's a Sean question. But no, like I wrote that, and yeah, I mean, like this isn't new. Like in our first Head in the Clouds album, a lot of us had like solo songs. Mm-hmm. So Sean I guess he liked this one the best. No, I'm just kidding. Don't put that in. But no, yeah, so I think it was the first one that was done.
Okay.
So I kind of showed it to him like way early on. He was like, yeah, this is tight. Let's put it out.
I love the fact that you guys do collective albums because it's very community driven. I really I love that.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I think community is important.
For sure. And it's like, they're like 3 brains versus like 1 brain. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you can create the world.
When people come together and collaboration happens, anything is possible.
Facts. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Giddy up. Okay, Head in the Clouds 2. When is it all coming out? I need a date right now.
Jackie,
can
we talk about that?
You must give me a date. Jackie looks so peaceful and quaint and like... Head in the Clouds 2.
Wait, have we announced it? Anyway, I guess like I can't say a date. Let's just say like, yeah.
Oh, this says on the internet, it says Friday, October 11th.
Oh, all right.
Friday, October 11th.
There you go. You know more than I do. Yeah.
Dan Googles a lot.
It says it was posted 6 hours ago.
Oh. Amazing.
October 11th, Head in the Clouds 2.
Great.
Is it a part 2 or just 2?
It's just 2.
Head in the Clouds 2.
Yeah.
2. And
2.
We have an EP out?
Yep.
Maybe another album from you?
Yeah, I'm currently working on my debut album.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I'm just taking my sweet time on it, honestly. The release date is TBD, but yeah.
You can't rush greatness, right? Slow and steady.
Dude.
Where are you at now as you're writing? Different place?
For sure.
Then?
Yeah, it's this project is very conceptual, and I'm writing from like a lens of a character. That's all I'll say.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's a lot more about looking inward and outward. But it's like, you know, in the past, my songs have been, you know, about like young love. And these are just like themes that just like constantly pervade music, which is tight. Like everybody relates to love, you know? But yeah, this one's going to be a lot more personal and introspective.
But personal, but through a character?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm excited.
You'll see.
Well, come back and hang.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
We'll dissect it until there's no more album left.
Amazing.
And I know everything.
I just had a question. Feast Mansion.
Yeah.
What? So is that a real house or like what is it just a YouTube channel? Like I'm so confused.
Can I say that, Jackie? Like, can I reveal that it's a real house?
Yeah, of course you can.
What, is it a real house?
It is a real house.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, so.
Mm.
Disclaimer, I'm sorry if
What do
I
you-
outed you guys.
What do you do in this house?
You create feasts.
You eat?
It's a
You
feast
eat.
mansion.
Yeah, have you seen that channel?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Zach.
No.
It's a big channel where
It's
they
a huge channel, yeah.
Apparently, I'm not cool enough. But how do I go? I love food.
You can't go. You get invited to go, and that's where, you create things and they film you.
and then we watch it on YouTube.
And then you watch it on YouTube.
Maybe I have, but do they do the ASMR style microphone? Do they record me while I eat it?
No, it's not a mukbang, unfortunately. I'm sure maybe someday they'll venture into those kind of, I don't know if they'll venture into that.
Do
but-
they cook the food for me or do I cook it?
No, you cook it.
Oh, I can't. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I can't cook myself anything.
Well, usually there's another expert there
Oh.
that helps you out.
Oh.
But
Like,
yeah,
she's done like these the ramen one.
the ramen one.
And
yes.
then the boba one.
Indomie. Yep. Yep.
Ricky was talking about this.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
She did.
Can't believe you've never seen these videos.
I know. But I probably have, and I haven't even realized it.
That's okay.
Sorry, YouTube community. Please don't judge me. And if there's an expert there to help me cook the food, I would love to come.
Amazing.
You probably were never thinking about inviting me anyway.
Not
And
now.
And it's okay if you keep it that way. But I'd probably say yes if you invited me because I have nothing else going on. Okay, I'm going to shut the up now. NIKI, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me, you guys. It's been a pleasure.
Also, good to know that, is Zephyr connected to your real last name?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's so funny that you caught that. Nobody's ever caught that.
You know, I was reading I was listening to the album, and
Yeah.
then it wasn't until I saw your full name that I was like, while we're talking now, that I was
Yep.
like, I was wondering why it'd be Zephyr.
Yeah, that was truly, it was just kind of let's do a play on thing, with my name. But yeah. Also, on the flip side, Zephyr, not on the flip side, but a second part to that is Zephyr. Zephyr means gentle breeze. And it was just kind of that's what it means.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go. English lesson from a native English person. Or not English, but English speaking. Dude, help me, I'm scrambling
No,
here.
no,
You're
got it.
teaching me how to speak. I can't help you.
Dude, sometimes I just
Look,
we can't talk sometimes.
well, that's good to know that that's what it meant because I thought it was just a, what do they call, the blimps,
no.
Zephyr blimp. And then we have a piece of technology called a Zephyr, but now it's a gentle wind. Well,
Gentle wind.
knowledge is power. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
What's that?
Air handshake.
This is really good.
I recently learned how to dap it too.
Whoa.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah,
I think it's just the universal male handshake.
Yeah,
I don't trust my hands. I can't do it.
It's
that's it. Adapt yourself.
and then can you snap? Do
you
you
s-
snap? Because I've seen people do that. I can't snap.
No, I don't.
I snap weird. It looks really inappropriate, so I'm not gonna do it. Do you want to see it?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to.
So people snap upwards like that.
Yeah.
I snap like that,
Whoa.
Whoa.
Ooh, that looked violent.
but it just looks bad. So
Yeah, your thumb. Yeah.
the thumb just goes through something.
You got an ugly snap.
I really do.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So in my Indigo video, I snap. Those are all fake.
But somebody else's hands?
No, they were my hands,
Oh.
but the director just I snapped my way, and he was can we just snap? Try to snap regularly. And I was like, okay, cool. Snap like a normal person.
What finger do you use to snap?
My middle one.
Me too.
But I don't go. You go. Your thumb goes up. Mine just goes through.
Yeah, you're. What the? I can't. Okay.
But that's why I can't snap very hard.
Well, I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
You'll figure it out one day.
I will, as we all will.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
Snaps.
Snaps for me.
No. I don't want to see you do it. We'll snap for you. You don't need to snap for yourself. I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.